Okay, so I wanted to put this right here so we get closed captioning as well. I wanted to record this basically uninterrupted, so that way you can get a sense of like um, what are the basic things to set up once you get the Autotrader. So if you're looking at the screen, in order to auto trade, this is the basic setup that you want to be able to have. These are the buttons that you press in order to auto trade. Okay. There is an ATM button that can be pressed or not pressed. Some people prefer doing this, especially because sometimes you don't get the signals that allows you to get out at the very, very top. So once you reach a point like this, for example, this may come back all the way to the top and eat up all of your profits before you can get out. So we have an ATM strategy where you're basically keeping 50 ticks apart from the the profit that you presently have, and it's a trailing stop. So you can have a trailing stop or not. Typically, my preference is to not have it and really trust in the Autotrader. And this works well when it is trending real hard. It does not work well when it is a choppy market. And to be honest, any choppy market, it just does not work well. Okay, so just to give you an idea of what had taken place this evening, actually overnight, I had one contract on. There was these were micros and this was a mini, just one contract overnight. And basically it took it all the way up to over 500 ticks of profit. And had I had the 50 tick trailing, it would have probably been stopped out halfway through, and I would have caught still a good 200 ticks. But because I had it with no ATM, I was able to catch over 500 ticks. So those are the pluses and minuses of having the bot not have the ATM. But this is the basic setup that you want to have. The trend filter confirmation filter keeps it as safe as possible. So I won't go into, when should you turn off the confirmation, when should you turn on the trend filter. But for now, this is the most basic setup that you want to be able to have when you are trading in a Autobot. Okay. And when it comes to, what hours should you be able to turn it on? Granted, if you have it on 23 hours a day, there's a lot of time where you're going to go through chop, through consolidation periods where it will eat up all of your profits. But if I had to choose a time, I would probably choose the London time from 2 to 4 a.m. And then again from 7 to 9 a.m. are ideal because things start moving. Another time frame during the regular trading hours would be 9:45 to 11:30. So you can have the bot on and not watching it. If you are watching it and you're trading along with it, then obviously you can have it on continuously. But typically, if you're not supervising it, those are the time frames that are best in general. And then finally from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. And then you finish around like 3:50, 4 o'clock. Okay. So when you get into the chop zone, that's when we'll go over what that entails. You want to be able to turn it off. But for now, this is the basic setup. I have at the present time the Heiken-Ashi, and this is the 2 minute, I'm sorry, the 5 minute Heiken-Ashi. And the last signal that I got was a bearish signal right here. And that's where it will enter when you have it set up like this. Because at this juncture, you have the trend filter on, which is bearish. You have the confirmation based on the previous candles. And it's basically a short signal. The down arrow is a short signal. So this would have taken you from probably like 9:30 all the way down to as low as 8:40. It's a huge move. And so if you don't have the ATM on, you will continue being in this trade until you get the opposite long signal. But if you had the ATM on, you probably would have been kicked out like right here and locked in your profits. Okay, so those are the two options that you can work with. Now, in terms of the bot, there's different preferences based on different traders. Some traders prefer the 5-minute because it allows you to avoid a lot of the chop and only put you in on, trending modes. The drawback is that the bot may enter you on the end of the trend rather than the beginning of it because you have the trend filter and confirmation filter on. So some people would go and say, hey, you know what? I prefer the 2-minute. And here's a 2-minute, and you will go set it up like this. Okay. And when you do it on a 2-minute, it does allow you to enter a little bit earlier. So that way you can take advantage of a bigger, greater move. But you run into problems when you get chopped up here. You would have entered here. This would have been a loss. And then this would have been a small win. This would have been green actually. And you would probably would not enter until after the negative or the bearish signal. So the great thing about it, the positive thing about it is that it allows you to enter in a little bit earlier and thereby catch a greater profit. But with that greater profit, you also face a greater risk of the trade going opposite you. Now, the default way to trade the Autotrader and the most effective way to trade the Autotrader is actually by using Orenko. And the Orenko bar that we typically use is the 1640-80 bars. We'll talk about the other things in a later video, but let's go to the most basic level, which is this. Okay, so you would have armed it like in the same manner. And what's great about this is that it takes the time element away and it just gives you price action. Okay, so when you have it set up like this, for example, you would have taken the trade right here. And even though this was green, because you have the trend filter and confirmation filter, you would not have been kicked out. This would have kept you. This might have kicked you out right here for a profit. So quick profit, and you would have gone long, and then it'll reverse it right here. So you would have ended up flat to a slight loss before you capture this huge move from where did it enter? Like this one entered at around 940 or so, and you would have exited around 840. So that's a 100-point move. That's a 400 tick win that you would have had in an Orenko setup. The other Orenko setups are the 8/16/40 is more for being a scalper. The 32/80/160 setup is more for intraday. We'll talk about that later. But those are the typical setups when it comes to basic auto trading, with or without ATM. I gave you the hours, and you can test it out on simulation, whether you prefer the 5-minute or 2-minute Heiken or the Orenko. Within our Discord, we do have playbacks that are set up on the 2-minute and 5-minute Orenko, and those are fairly accurate. I'm sorry, 2-minute and 5-minute Heiken-Ashi, and those are fairly accurate, but the Orenko does not work well on playback. You really would have to do it in real time in order for you to get a better sense of how it performs. Okay, so that's for the basic setups. Now let's talk about trading styles. And let me move this over here briefly. In terms of trading styles, first and foremost, you want to stick to one trading style. Okay, one of the seven rules of mastering your trade is actually to avoid a style drift. Okay, you don't want to go from sniper, scalper, swing and go back and forth, or use one setup to another and constantly switch, because in the process of doing that, you will be jack of all trades, master of nothing. Okay, so focus on one style that best suits your demeanor, your mindset. So if you're kind of like ADHD, maybe a sniper is better. If you're more of the long term, you really want to see it play out for hours on, maybe a swing or intraday swing is the way for you to go. Within Obsidian, we have our specific definitions. Everybody has different definitions, but you're a sniper. If you're really going for that 8 to 12 ticks profit, the moment you hit it, you get out, you're done. Maybe you'll have a runner. Same thing with a scalper. It's a little bit longer. You're looking for that 20 to 40 tick move, and you have a runner just running as far as it could. Swings are like you want to be the power hitter. You're going for that home run, and you're basing it on support and resistance, Ludwig levels, Fibonacci levels, things like that. Okay, so you're bringing in more technical know-how when it comes to swinging. Okay, and then intraday swing, and that's something that I prefer doing. It's more of you're really looking for that 1 to 2 setups. Sometimes in a given day, you'll have 0. Okay, so you'll have really 0 to 2 trades per day. And you're really looking at the charts and looking at the weekly, daily, hourly, sometimes even 4 hour, 1 hour, 30 minutes or so, in order to get a sense of the direction in which the market will go. And you really want to just stay with it. You don't want to be watching the screen all day long. You just want to be able to enter it that way. That's when, so if you want to be a swing, intraday swing trader, that's when the Orenko 32 comes into play. And in this setup, for example, you entered all the way out here at 33. Okay, so imagine all these buttons were on. You would have entered somewhere here between 33 to 30, and you would still be in this trade. Okay, you would not have been knocked out yet. You will be, whether it be 1 or 2 contracts, you would have taken this southern movement, this bearish movement, all the way down to as low as 827. So 930 to 827. That's a huge 110-point move. Okay, and you're avoiding all the chop in between. And especially today, it has been extremely choppy just by looking at the 30-minute candles here. Okay, so those are the different trading styles that you can have, and based on that, you will set up your own trading setups. Okay, so you're so if you are a swinger, for example, you pretty much are going to stick to Orenko 32. Okay, so that's in terms of trading styles. Get to know your trading style. So if somebody were to ask you, what's your trading style, be able to say, I'm a sniper, scalper, or a swinger, okay? Now, let's also take a look at the 7 steps. I want to move to the 7 steps of trading, or mastering it, okay? And this is by no means, gospel truth per se, but this is just the things that you want to do in order to be a part-time, full-time trader and be good at what you do. So number one is you want to be prepared, okay? For some of us, that may be planning out your Fibonacci levels, your support and resistance, your liquidities. Some people draw it manually, others rely on paid services like Mancini's ES levels and things like that. But be prepared. Know what type of news there was before the market, okay? And then once that has been set and you have a good setup of your support and resistance levels on your chart, stick to whatever style that you happen to be, okay? This one, you're going to be watching your screen until you hit your profit target or all day long, depending on what type of trader you are. And then the swings allows you to get into a trade and walk away. And there are different alerts that can give you in order for you to know when to get out. The Futures Pro, for example, you can set up a phone alert. Okay. Now, the number 3 is the following. Time your trades. Okay. You don't want to just immediately go in anywhere in the market. You want to be able to look at the levels and see where is a positive momentum change. Like, are we reaching a super high level where we realize, you know what, we're not going to go any higher there. We don't want to go long because the risk reward ratio is not there. Okay. Or this is a previous fib line that I had put on ES. Sure enough, it actually touched it and it bounced from there. And this is actually a few days old and it bounced from there. So this is a part of the A+ entry that you may want to have. Okay, so it hits a key support level that you're willing and prepared to go long. Okay, you're looking at, for some of us, we look at tick strike. We want to be able to see movement. We want to see volume and enter at that point. Okay, so again, if you're a scalper, you have many, many levels along the way. Same with this, sniper. But if you're a swing trader, intraday swing traders, you're looking at the major levels of Fibonacci or support and resistance that mark off the days and sometimes even weeks. Okay. Next part. Oh, actually, I should just keep this here. The next thing to keep in mind is, so you want to write down your A+ setups. Okay. What do you consider your A+ setups? And once you have described it and written it down, those are the times when you want to be able to trade. Don't just jump in at any time. Okay. So number 4, and probably this is the biggest reason why people fail. As a matter of fact, if you're trading a prop firm, and if you're constantly failing, well, you're not alone. As a matter of fact, 95 to 99% of people fail because they lack the discipline of managing their risk and reward. Okay, so if you're in a prop firm, okay, and you're in an eval stage, okay, you're in an evaluation, whether it be 50,000 or 250,000, okay, the recommended ratio is 250 to 1. Okay, so if you have, let's say, $2,500 of threshold in a $50,000 account, the most that you should be trading at one given time is 250 to 1, which equals to 10 micros or 1 mini. Okay. Now, when you enter a position, you do not want to enter it all at once. You want to enter it maybe at 2 to 4 micros. And then once you have a clear movement where the volume is there, and your Overwatch is showing all green, and your tick strike, those of you who prefer tick strike, the volume is so high, and there is that ratatat, Geiger counter volume, that ticking noise that just tells you that there's a lot of orders coming in. Those are the times when you want to be able to size up. Okay, when you are in key levels, like over here, and it keeps going your way, you want to size up. Okay, so and again, when you do size up, the most that you want to be able to do is 10 micros. Once you get to PA, you want to be even safer, but we won't talk about that for now. When you are, and let me just read it off because that's easier. So let your winners run and cut your losses or cut your losers short. Before entering a position, have a predetermined stop. Okay, so you should be able to look at the chart and say, hey, this is a good stop loss, and know when you want to be able to exit once it hits that spot and say, yep, this is the profit target that I want. If you're not sure how to do that, let the bot run its course. And if you want more insight and learn from more disciplined veteran traders, we have many live trading rooms that you're able to join, whether it be the beginners, the advanced, whether you want to be able to focus on ES or even in Spanish. Eventually, the vision is for us to be able to have, 23 hours a day, 5 days a week, trading, live trading taking place in our Discord, so that at any time you can come in and be able to listen to veteran traders and help you become successful. So we're getting there, okay? In any case, moving on, trade directionally, okay? Typically, you don't want to average down in a losing position unless you really, really know what you're doing, okay? If you see one of the veteran traders do that, you might want to do that. You shouldn't necessarily blindly copy them, but you might want to do that because they know a thing or two about a thing or two. But definitely you want to average up in winning positions with volume. So when there's a lot of volume, those are the times when you want to size up and actually be able to leverage and multiply your wins. When you get into profit, one of the safest things that you can do is move your stop loss to a break even or even a profit stop. So if you move it up to a 5-tick profit stop, at least you're making some money if it comes back. You don't go red, and it covers your commissions. Next one is before taking a position, always know the amount that you're willing to lose. Okay, so whether it's ES or NQ, mini or micro, please do know what the values are for each tick or each point or each handle. Point equals a handle. And predetermine how much you're willing to lose. So that way, that's where your stop is. And then if you happen to be wrong in that situation, then you know I have lost X amount. I was willing to lose this. This is the amount that I was willing to risk. I lost it, so let's move on to the next trade and let's win it. Okay. So another key way of looking at it is don't ask how much I can make. Rather ask how much can I lose. Okay. This is what gets a lot of people in trouble. Okay. Not being able to manage the risk reward on their trading. If you can manage this, you can be right 51% of the time, and you will be a successful trader. Yes, 51%. Okay, so master this. As a matter of fact, I saw a profit and loss statement of somebody who was only right about 38% for that day. And the reason that he had more losing trades than winning trades was because he was cutting his losses short and letting the winners just run like crazy. And so he was up easily over $1,000 per account, even though he was at 38% winning percentage. Okay. So when I say 51%, you might be thinking, oh, I don't know about that. No, really. If you really trade with discipline and proper risk reward management, and you know what you're going to lose, you know what you're going to run, and if you're in a winning position, you average up. Yeah, at the end of the day, you can be under 50% right, but you can be dollar-wise, you can be way up there because again, that's what it takes to win. So ask yourself this question: why do I keep on losing? I'm right 55% of the time, 60% of the time, and I'm either flat to negative. Well, imagine if you can flip it around. So instead of averaging down, think about averaging up. Instead of wishing that your losers will turn around and become winners, think about, hey, this hope strategy is not working. Let me cut it short. Eat your pride, go on to the next trade. And when it's a winner and it's running, that's when you want to be able to let it run. So when the winners are big and the losers are small, you are guaranteed to win. Okay, so manage your risk and your risk reward. So eval, rule of thumb, 250 to 1, PA 500 to 1. And take my word for it, every time I didn't follow this rule and I over leveraged, I failed miserably. Number 5, post analysis of your trades. Okay, this is something that people rarely do. So I would challenge you to start doing that. So at the end of the day, print out your rhythmic or your Ninjatrader total trades and evaluate it and try to come up with, what is the one reason that I came out negative today. And if you won, the next question is, what is the one area that I can improve today? So always analyze your trades. Definitely don't lie to yourselves. And, even when you lose, make that into a lesson. Every loss can become a lesson, but if you don't learn from it, you're bound to repeat it. Number 6, keep learning. Knowledge has the best return on equity. So each and every week or every month, you need to be able to write down on a piece of paper 2 concepts I will learn this month are. Don't know how to. Are. Write it down. This month, I want to learn Fibonacci fully, in and out. Or I want to learn Ichimoku clouds. I want to learn ICT. I hear this ICT, and fair value gap and all of these things. What is that stuff? Or you might say, you know what? I want to be able to learn the strat system because that's a different system as well. And write it down. And on weekends or in the evenings, when you're not trading, those are the times when you want to study. When you hit your profit target for the morning, you stop trading. And the rest of the day is dedicated towards equipping yourself, knowledge, building up your knowledge of how to become a better trader. If you have a losing day, learn to fire yourself. Have a daily profit target and a daily stop loss. And when you hit that stop loss, imagine the boss sitting on your left shoulder coming to you and screaming, "You're fired." Okay, and for the rest of the day, evaluate your trades. Why did you lose? but also use that time to learn another concept and another concept. This month, I want to learn how to read candle formation. I want to know at least a dozen candle formations in order for me to become a better trader, whatever that is. And then number 7, I leave it blank. And that's something that I leave it up to you. Add your own 7th step in order for you to be able to become a master trader or to master your trading. Okay, so that is the 7 steps of mastering your trade. And we did talk about risk reward. The next thing that I do want to talk about is Futures Pro. And Futures Pro, and right now this is the setup that we have for Futures Pro. Futures Pro basically allows us to be more of an intraday traders. This is building enough confidence in your technical reading of the market and not looking at just every 1 minute or every 5 minutes, but really looking at it from a daily, weekly, monthly perspective in order to be able to trade. Okay, so my preferences are the following. I look at the 10-minute, and the moment this yellow line crossed this EMA, that's a death cross, and that is a bearish sign for me. And until it crosses over, this is a position that I would enter either at 9:40 or 10:20 a.m. and just walk away. Okay, if you have TraderBait, you can trade on your phone. Okay, if you have TradingView, you can have the charts on your phone, and you can have alerts coming directly to your phone as well through TradingView, as a matter of fact. And so whenever the alerts come, that's when you can decide to look at the chart and decide whether you're going to continue staying in or lock in your profits and get out. So this is a 10-minute. And so again, we're looking at Futures Pro and how to intraday trade with this. Okay, so you're looking at the 10-minute, and that gives you the area where you could have gone short. And today, in spite of all the choppiness that we've had, you would have stayed short. You would have not had the angst or the stress of trading in this crazy choppy market, especially because today is Friday. On the 30-minute, we have the sell signal actually at the 10 a.m. mark. So you could have used this as a signal and entered it because the 10-minute gives it to you earlier. Okay, but the fact that on the 30-minute you have the moving average over the EMA, and as a matter of fact, the EMA is even red. That gives you greater confidence that today is going to be a bad day. Look at the candle formations. So one of the key candle formations that you want to learn is about the 3 white soldiers or the 3 black crows. And here we have confirmation of confirmation that this is a bearish day. So the 10-minute is the entry, the 30-minute is the confirmation, the 3 black crows is another confirmation. The amplitude of the candles, the fact that there is no top wick and only it's a bottom wick, one after the other, as long as it gives you this, you just hang on and stop fussing about it, okay? Because if you watch it on Ninjatrader, you will be tempted to get out. It's like, oh no, I have to lock my profits in and yada yada. Okay, don't do that. All right, and you can look at it even from a 1-hour perspective, and sure enough, we are very bearish. We are coming to a key level. It pierced it and ran right back. So more than likely in the next candle, it is going to be going down. So for ES anyway, If I had to guess today, right now it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. My guess is that it's going to come to the 310, 308 level and probably close around there. Okay? It may come down lower, but I think it's going to snap back to this level. So I have the yellow line here, and that red line is there for a purpose. I won't get into it at the present time. Okay, so when you see something like this, you're able to do intraday trades. So what does that have to do with the bot? When do I enter it when it comes to the bot? Okay, and so now this is what we see. Here's your PTC short, your pattern trend change going into a bear. I have a confirmation filter and a trend filter. So this one, if I had the trend filter, it would not have entered it there because the trend is still green at the bottom. Okay. When would it have entered? It would probably have entered here. So we would have entered late because this is where we have the trend filter being confirmed, the confirmation filter being confirmed, and this is the entry point on an intraday trade. Okay? Right here. Now, because it's an Orenko 32, and if you're not concerned about confirmations in this type of a long-term setup, then you would have entered here at this juncture, which is at 10:23. Or interesting time. Yeah, that's when the new bar was formed. Again, the Orenko is based on price action. It does not take into account time. So the bot would have put us in at 10:23, whereas if we went in manually, well, we could have gone in a little bit earlier. Okay, but this is if you're just basically letting the bot do its thing, and you're like, hey, I don't know what to do. It would have put you in right at the right time. And sure enough, it would have kept you all throughout that time. Notice here, at 11:20, there was this huge candle that started popping back up. And it actually brought it all the way up to almost to the high of that of the day, even. But looking at this right here, you might have been tempted to get out because you saw your entry going from positive to negative. Okay, this is if you were to do manual trading. Okay, however, the bot, even though it took this candle all the way up here, would not have kicked you out of it. The bot would have kept you in there. Oh, well, the 50 would have knocked you out. But if you had no ATM and you had it just like this, it would have kept you in there because there's no bullish. Okay, so it would have kept you in here, kept you in here. This would have been the trend filter entry. This would have been the confirmation entry. Here were another three bars that went up and tried to recover. You would have still been in the trade. And sure enough, it would have worked out because now you would be at 8:30. So with the trend filter, you would have entered around 9:65. If it was just confirmation filter, you would have entered around, it would be at the very top of the next candle at 15,024. But if you did not have this, you would have entered around 15,031 and change. Okay, so those are the differences that these buttons will make. Okay, but this is again my preferred style of trading. where I'm trusting in the overall trend. And this is working out to basically be one trade for today. And I don't see it jumping back up and giving us opposite signals. So today, if I had to guess, it's right now 2:05 on a Friday. My guess is that come 4 o'clock, we would exit wherever this ends up. But it will not be because we went the opposite direction. So that is basically how the Futures Pro and the Ninjatrader would work together. There are other time frames that you're looking at, but the key entry is for looking at the 30-minute right there and looking at the 10-minute right there, okay? And letting the Autobot enter it either here or here. And you're basically done in a sense. You're letting the bot do its thing, okay? Once you get an opposite signal and you get a long, it'll immediately kick you out of there, lock in the price, and start rising with it, okay? So that is it. There are other things to cover, but at the present time, I will stop the video at this juncture and let it end. So thank you for your time, and hopefully you'll get to watch other videos, and hopefully you'll be able to profit together with everyone else. Take care.